Hey, Alexandra, welcome. Good to see you. Um, it's it's hard to say. I mean, because I'm not that far into Solasta, Crown of the Magister yet. Um, I I like the depth that Baldur's Gate 3 had, and I seriously doubt that this game or any game is going to to rival that. The choices that your characters could make, the quests that went along with those choices, the backstories behind them, and all that sort of stuff is hard to beat. For those of us who are tabletop nerds, though, the whole um, Sword Coast and Forgotten Realms and the city of Baldur's Gate 3 itself really strike a chord with us, and it's been a foundational aspect to our Dungeons and Dragons campaigns um, for many, many years now. So I cannot say 100% that I like Baldur's Gate 3 story better just because I haven't really gotten that far through Solastas yet. But I can say with 100% certainty that Baldur's Gate 3 storyline is going to be really, really hard to beat. Hey, Rudy, good to see you. Thanks for being here again today. I appreciate it as always. No, well, thank you very much for that, Alexandra, and you're very welcome. Um, if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. It's one of the things I really enjoy about my community is that the interactions with them are always so great. And if I'm messing something up in the game, please feel free to point that out too. And like I say, it seems to be a thing that my community loves to take pleasure in, and I enjoy it as well. So Yeah, Alexander, that certainly happens. I watch a bunch of content creators myself, and it always makes me want to go back and do another playthrough. So, welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode number 2 of our Solasta Crown of the Magister playthrough gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So on admin notes, I mentioned this just quickly. This live stream is going to stay at this time for a little bit. I've checked the schedule, and I think for the next 3 weeks at least, I don't have a conflict. But once the NFL season here in the United States, NFL football season here in the United States starts, this live stream is going to move as it always does. This is nothing new. To Saturday afternoon from 2 to 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is GMT -5 right now. I am a huge sports fan, and football, getting together with my friends to watch it every week is a thing that I really enjoy. So be taking some time and moving this one to Saturday so that I can catch up with my football team every week. But for now, we're still good. I'll put up a notification on social media and in the post tab on the channel about it, and keep you all informed on what's going on. Just a brief mention, I also mentioned yesterday that we will be starting up a third live stream. I think that's going to be starting in a couple of weeks. I did briefly mention the game, but I'm going to wait until the announcement goes up. It's probably going to go up next week, if I have to guess, about what we're going to be doing. That live stream is on Wednesdays after I get back from work, which means that it's either 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Now, again, I know that's inconvenient for my overseas viewers, but I simply can't spend my entire weekend live streaming. I enjoy my weekends too much, and as much as I enjoy spending time with all of you, I need some time for friends and my own activities on the weekends. So we'll be doing it Wednesday evenings. We've done it in that live stream spot before. Again, I know it's not nearly as popular, but it's one of the only other times that I have. So pay attention to social media and the post tab for more information about that. So I think that's it for the admin notes. So on our recap, last week we went through a little bit of character creation, and we started the main quest line here in the game. I realized a couple of things while we were playing last week, and I have made a change to something, and I also made one mistake last week that I always make. I don't know why I always make it. I've made it in tabletop twice, so I don't know why I continue to do it. But I did make the mistake, so I went back and made a change for that as well, and I played the playthrough back up to this point, making all the same decisions and all that sort of stuff. But there are a couple of differences, so let's go ahead and jump in here and we'll kind of look at it. Okay, so here we are right where we left off at Caer Lem. Now, a couple of changes that I mentioned. The first is you will notice that Sharon looks a little different. It didn't make any sense to have a tiefling without horns. And I just kind of quickly put that character together and wasn't really thinking, so I went back and re-rolled Sharon so that I could redo her appearance. Now, the other thing about Sharon is that Sharon was always going to take a sorcerer dip. And if I'm going to take a dip into sorcerer, you need to start as a sorcerer. The reason for that has to do with your saving throws. sorcerers get proficiency with Constitution saving throws if that's their first, or if they're taking that at character creation during level 1. If you take a dip into sorcerer later and you've started off as something else, you will not get this proficiency. So if you're going to put sorcerer levels in later on, then always start as a sorcerer to get this proficiency in Constitution saving throws, which helps make your concentration checks easier, and then go into your main class after that. So that's what I did. I re-rolled her instead of being Warlock 2, and then after I reached Warlock 3, starting at level 4, I was going to take a Sorcerer dip, but it didn't make any sense to do that. I'd just be missing out on the proficiency bonus, so I re-rolled her to be Sorcerer 1, Warlock 1. The only thing that does is, again, gives me that proficiency. It changes my appearance a little bit because I now have Sorcerer outfit instead of the Warlock outfit. And, of course, the Tiefling horns that are back on there. Like I say, it didn't make any sense not to have those. So, but that is those are the only changes that I made while we're off stream. There is something that I did forget or did mess up, and that is in my languages. I, for some reason, when I was re-rolling, and prior to the start of last week, I gave him Giantish, even though my Bard already has Giantish. This should have been Old Temerian instead, and you're going to see that come into play twice today. So I will probably end up re-rolling this and replaying it again to get Old Temerian in here. Old Temerian is a language you need to have during the first campaign here. So the fact that I don't have it, it's not going to cause us to miss out on anything. It's just going to cause us to miss a couple of dialogues that we're going to have. So here we are at the outpost, and I'm going to put everybody in cautious mode and kind of start making my way up here toward the outpost. Okay, now what I want to also do here is get a guidance cantrip out here for survival. Now, survival's a wisdom check, and my highest wisdom character is going to be the one making them, and that's going to be M here. Okay. Then I'm going to kind of break the party apart here.
What's that smell?
Okay, and there's a goblin skirmisher. A couple of them. We saw another one over there real quick. There's going to be another one that's going to pop up here. Okay, so survival went off. Was hoping to be able to make the checks from there, but I was too far. So we're going to kind of move everybody up here individually. refresh that. Okay, it talks about taking cover here and changing difficulty settings if you want. Okay, we're not going to need that. Now, there are other goblins up here. And I want to see... Okay, so I did roll the survival check there, and it's guided survival, so I rolled a 4, so had a +8 on my check, and I succeeded. So I've identified an unknown creature as a goblin skirmisher. Okay, so to identify creatures, you're going to have to make survival checks against them. And you can see that knowledge down there at the bottom. Here, I'll do it here. There you go. Down the bottom left, in the middle left there, it says Goblin Skirmisher, and then it says Knowledge 1 of 4. Okay. The more knowledge you unlock about them, the more you're going to learn. Their armor class, hit points, movement, challenge rating. You'll be able to see if they have any special abilities and that sort of stuff. So passing those survival checks just means that you're going to learn about them faster, basically, is what that does. Okay. So I'm now going to end my turn here. I'm going to move up as much as I can. Okay, and I'm gonna move. We have another goblin skirmisher. Let's see what my to hit here is. Oh, and she... doesn't matter. That's too far? Yes. So we're gonna ready a cantrip attack here and end her turn. Okay, now, even though she's concentrating on guided survival here, I'm gonna have her change to malediction. This is gonna remove the guidance from M, because there's only one concentration spell. Okay, so I can't reach it yet. So we'll leave it on for now. Can I reach him with an Eldritch Blast? I can't. Then let's set up a cantrip attack with Eldritch Blast. and we'll wait on that as well. Okay, so we have a regular goblin here. So let's just go ahead and get our attack. Okay, so yeah, I rolled a 24 to hit there. Nice. Okay, and I'm going to stay in the cover here.
I like.
Perfect. Okay, so for me, Goblin Skirmisher is the one I really want. This will get me half cover. Oh, he rolled a 19 on his wisdom save. They have horrible wisdom, so he's got a -1 to wisdom, and it was a DC 15, so he needed to roll a 16 or above, and he rolled a 19. So he's going to get a shot off here, and he's going to hit. Okay, so we'll get Malediction out. He's got cover in front of him, but I still hit. Nice. So we're gonna save Flurry of Blows. I don't think I'm gonna need it here. Okay, good. I did kill that one. So now, if Rudi can get the kill here, he will. I'm not going to Divine Smite on that, and we're good. Okay, so it talks about taking a short rest. Short rests are down here. And we'll probably... no, I mean, we don't need to take one for anything.
Where did those goblins
So, I did lose 4 hit points there. Unfortunate, but is what it is. Okay, so we're going to loot all of this. We'll sort it out later. And you see it picks it up in a group. It picked up both of those bags, so... Okay, so now let's take a look at our ranged options, because we don't have a ranged option here. I've been waiting. Instead of me buying bows, I knew I was going to get a bow here, so it didn't make any sense for me to buy one when I was going to be getting one here in a little bit. The darts I'm going to keep. I'm also going to give him a short bow. The dart is going to go there. Okay. So he's still got 9 darts left. I'm going to give him a short... Now, a short bow is not a monk weapon. So, he can't use his martial arts bonus when he's using it. But he's still got a really high dex, so he can hit with those ranged weapons even without that martial arts bonus to it. So I'm going to keep a bow on him just as we go, and then the bolts here for the light crossbow are fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and move our way up. Now we're going to go into cautious mode again. Because cautious mode, you can see tracks. When you're not in cautious mode, you're not going to see them. And these tracks are leading you over here. Okay, and there's another secret spot here. And it opens up the Lair of Filth quest.
Damn, it stinks. We should be cautious from now on.
Okay, and if you open the map, you now have a Goblin Cave waypoint. Okay, now here we're going to again break our party. Okay, and it talks about falling hazards. We're going to see more of this, but if you hold left alt, you can see stuff that's above you. Okay, and if you target it, I'm just going to finish moving up here and then I'll show you. And if you target it with a ranged attack, such as Eldritch Blast, you can see an area below it that it's going to damage when it falls. Okay? So this is, you need to be aware of your environment and possible destruction in your environment that you can use to damage your enemies. So I'm going to move up with M here. Hey, Ostamura, welcome. Sorry I was concentrating on the fight a little bit. Good to see you again. Thanks for being here. Okay, and no, we don't need to. Do it yet, but everybody's saying we should be careful. And we start to see this little structure here. And there's a goblin skirmisher up top. Okay, just for giggles. Is he within range? He is. Okay. So let's go back here. And I'm kind of playing around with how this mechanic works. So I'm going to be testing out a few things. She's going to lose Malediction. But I'm not too worried about it. How many? So she has two spell slots left, so she'll be able to cast it 2 more times. And I'm not too worried about it in this fight. So I'm going to put Guided Survival back on here. I'm going to get M going out here. Okay, roll initiative. He's gonna throw. It's dead. Okay, so it didn't roll. Yeah, it didn't roll again. And that's because I believe the Goblin Skirmisher was the one that we saw last time. And I can't see either one of them. So I think it only does that the first time you encounter a character or an enemy. After that, every time you encounter it, it kind of knows what it is from your first check, and it will just continue adding knowledge at that point. So that's kind of what I wanted to check. Now I'm going to go into full cover here. And I'm going to change my crossbow, and I'm going to ready a ranged attack. Sharon is going to ready an Eldritch Blast. Did he just... Oh, I was going to say, what did he do? Okay, so we're getting some goblins dashing in. There's the ranged attack from Rudi. Worked out really well. So let's see if I can get... I can see him there. I can't see him there. Let's see if I can, if I'm within range of Vicious Mockery here. I'm not. But we will ready that. Okay, so there's the attack. At disadvantage because I had full cover. Disadvantage again because of full cover. Okay, and I'm going to wait here, but I'm going to ready a melee attack. I don't think he can see anybody else. He can't. Not within range. Nothing there. And I'm not underneath that. Because they will use it too. I'm going to ready a ranged attack from Rudi. Okay, so I can see him. I think I will move out here and ready an Eldritch Blast. Well, he's going to have disadvantage on that attack because he was mocked. Oh, I can't see him from there. No, he passed the saving throw on Vicious Mockery. He failed that one. Wow. Rolled a 16 with disadvantage. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this guy knocked out. And again, I'll move here into full cover just for this turn. Just going to ready these, but I'm probably not going to end up using them. Roll the 1. Roll the 2. It's time to bring these guys to me. And to do that, I'm going to have to disengage. Or I'm going to have to move away. And we'll ready up everybody. And now they're going to have to come to me because they can no longer see me. And this is going to bring them in range of my casters.
I trained hard for this.
Okay, so... Okay, so I can see them there. And I should still be able to make it, but I think I'm going to move up here. And not spend the dart. I'm going to ready a melee attack there. I'm going to move everybody else back. That's way too far to be able to hit. Yep. I'll move over here. And ready an Eldritch Blast. He's going to get an attack on somebody. Okay, so he's going after my monk again. Jeez. Oh, we had elevated ground. That's why. Yep. That was a mistake on my part. Can I hit him from there? I can make an attack from there. Can't hit though. And there's no way that's going to be close enough. Oh, it is. Wow, that must just be right at the outskirts of range. He can see me. He can see me, but I can't see him. That's what the dashed red line means. If I move out here, though... Okay. I can see him, I'm just not close enough to hit him. What's the range? It's 12. I've got to be close. let's just move out there and take a chance that I'm going to be able to get this off. They have bad wisdom saves, so that's why I was fairly confident that was going to work. Okay, and there he rolled the survival check. Okay, so we had guided survival through all of that. So, yeah. So, I guess at the end of the fight, he rolled it. That was kind of weird. He rolled it at the start of the fight last time, the end of the fight this time. So, but he increased his knowledge of the Goblin Skirmisher and the Goblin to known level 3. To known level 3. So now if you go into your journal, you have a bestiary here. Okay, and this is all of the enemies that you have encountered, or that you know about due to a background, up until this point. So where are the goblins? Okay, there they are. So I must just skipped right over them, but there's your goblin. Okay, and now you can see we're at knowledge level 3 of 4. So it gives us our challenge rating. It gives us their ability scores, so you can tailor your spells to which ones are going to work best. It gives you an armor class, hit points, movement speed. And it also gives you its senses, proficiencies. It doesn't give you immunities, resistance, and vulnerabilities yet. That comes at level 4, as well as special features. Okay, but it will give you its plus to hit ratings and all of that sort of stuff as well. So it's a good thing to be able to have somebody with a high wisdom, or a proficiency in survival, to be able to gather more information about the enemies faster as you go through it, so you can better tailor your attacks and that sort of stuff. So M here as a 4 in survival because of his wisdom modifier here. I was not able to take survival as a proficiency check or a proficiency skill with him, or else I would have. But having somebody with that ability is very, very nice. And again, we're just going to go loot everything. We'll sort it out a little bit later. Okay, now let's take a look at the area here, and you can see that we have some elevated locations here. I'm going to send my paladin up here. Going to kind of watch his path. I've already gone through this, so I know there's no traps or anything here. And there's nothing special about this. He's just climbing ladders to get up there. Okay, so we're going to get a healing potion, an amethyst, which is an enchanting piece. That's why it's got the crafting symbol down here. Troll acanthus is going to be very, very useful for us. And a scroll of cure wounds, always nice to have. Okay, so some arrows, a scroll of sleep, which is amazing, and another troll acanthus, and a primed dagger. This is how enchanting works in tabletop. You take a regular item, and you can spend time to prime it by using in the game here the Manacalon Rosary. And you study it, you imbue it, and you get it ready to accept an enchantment. The enchantment then is based upon the ingredients that you use to put the enchantment on the item. Okay. So a prime dagger is one that has already gone through the initial step in enchantment in the game. And that means you don't have to either spend time or you don't have to spend gold to buy one that's already been primed. You have one already ready. So if you want to get a magical dagger, then you can use this one and save yourself time and or gold doing it. Okay, and I believe that's it here in this cave. So let's come back up here and we'll take a look at our loot real quick. Okay, so we're picking up a lot of stuff. His encumbrance is going up. It's not bad yet. But I will take the scroll of sleep and I'll put it on my bard. He also picked up some more arrows, so I will send those arrows here. And I'll change that up. And again, it's not a monk weapon. Okay, but he's +7 to hit, 1d6 +5. With the darts, he's still +7 to hit and 1d6 +5. And that's because of his martial arts bonus that's going into the damage here. So I'm the same, it's just this gives me more ammo to be able to use. And sometimes your inventories get a little weirded out. If you see two items sitting on top of each other, just close your inventory and reopen it. Okay, I think we're good. We've got healing there, and healing there. So yes, we're okay.
Looks like you did that all your life.
Okay, so now we'll make our way back up the vines here and make our way up toward the outpost some more. And I need to have my notes open. Okay, so we have another chest over here. Okay, with some brimstone viper scales, again a crafting ingredient.
bad feeling about this.
There's no one here. Not even corpses.
Look! That tower, that's insane. Amazing! Classic Tiamarian architecture. I read about that, you know. It just ended up here after the cataclysm. Incredible.
Anyway, we have a mission. Let's check the fortifications.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention that I did is, I don't know if you've been noticing, but the characters now have capital letters at the beginning of their name. I didn't notice this, but there actually is a difference between that letter being capitalized and that one not. So, I actually re-rolled all of the characters in the game to have capital letters at the beginning of their names because it was driving me nuts that those were lowercase. So this was there were all new characters. They were all kept the same with the exception of Sharon, which I already talked about. But yeah, if you're in character creation, you can capitalize the first letter if you would like. For me, I'm way too picky that way. It's just another detail that was driving me nuts. Okay, and that's going to get me access to this chest up here.
Okay, you're tough.
Okay, and there's nothing special here about this. Okay. So, this chest is going to need locks picked. Now, sleight of hand... Okay, here in the game is not used. This sleight of hand is not lock picking like it was in Baldur's Gate 3. This is legerdemain. If you're not familiar with that word, it's like pickpocketing and that sort of stuff. Or if you have something in your hand and somebody sees it and you actually didn't want them to see it, you can try and hide it from them. Or like performing magic with cards and that sort of stuff. That's legerdemain or manual trickery, and that's what sleight of hand is used for. It's not for picking locks. In Baldur's Gate 3, it was added in as a sleight of hand check so that you could add bonuses to it, but that's not how it works. Your bonuses come from having proficiency with the tools that you're using to do that manual task. Okay, so there's no guidance that I can add on to improve my sleight of hand checks because, well, I can do sleight of hand checks, but those sleight of hand checks will not improve my lock picking. It's the number that you get from Thieves' Tools, and the only way to improve that is by improving your dexterity, which will add directly to it, or adding proficiency or expertise to it. Okay, so I'm going to be hard capped here. So what I normally do is save before I'm going into one. Because you can always roll that low number. Okay, so we got some more arrows here. I'm going to put a shield on my bard. Actually, I'll just have my bard load it all. He's got 20 arrows. He has 20 with an extra 10, so I'll slot those here. Okay. We'll go around the corner here. Okay, so nothing over here. Now for this one, I am going to take Rudi, and the reason for that is because he has a 16 strength, and that's in the 15 to 20 category as far as jumping goes. So he can make longer jumps without having to make an athletics check. But even if he does need to make a longer jump, he can make an athletics check if need be. The reason I'm doing it is to get him up here, and actually I need to see if M can make these. I forgot that chest was locked. Okay, so he might have to make an athletics check through here somewhere, depending upon the length of these. Looks like he's going to make it. And again, have him try and pick it. Okay, perfect. And he's got a wand. I'm gonna loot all of this for now. Okay, so one of the problems that I had with Sharon is that she wasn't able to equip her potion of healing here because the component pouch was her spell focus. Okay, and your potions of healing only go in the universal slot. But now I've picked up a wand. So that a wand can go here, and I need to give her an offhand so that she can cast somatic components of her spells, and now that's her spell focus. Okay. So whoops. So here you can see I can still cast my spells here. My warlock spells included with that spell focus, but now I also have the use item functionality available to me here. Again, it's something I could have changed out at a vendor, but
There's definitely been fighting here.
No one here to greet us? How rude. I was hoping for drinks, at least.
This is no time for jokes.
Right. Whoever did this could still be around, and we don't want them hearing us.
We should look for survivors. 50 people can't just vanish.
Did you see that?
Someone's hiding inside the tower.
It's a trap. The goblins killed everyone, and now it's our turn.
Or they're the survivors, and they're being cautious.
We need to get up to that door.
If they slaughtered the garrison, they'll pay.
Back off! No closer!
Who's there?
We're not letting you in!
And we're not coming out!
Is Captain Henrik there? We need to talk to him.
Don't you dare speak his name, you filthy bastard!
Don't talk to them!
They'll cast a spell on you! Don't touch me!
Clearly, this distressing experience has affected their reason. Let's get to the door. Maybe if they can see us up close, we can show them our council badges.
okay, so now we need to make our way up there, but before we do that, there is and it says, if you look down here, close this door. There's a minor gate here. Okay. Now you're going to need to pass an Arcana check when you click on this. Now if I look at Arcana, I've got +3 on Rudi, +2, +2, +4. It's going to use Sharon to make that Arcana check. But I can also cast Guidance on Arcana. Okay, and again, save.
What's this? I think it was a minor gate. At its height, the Manaclon Empire had countless gates like this to magically travel through the Empire. I don't suppose it still works. Some say there are still functioning gates. And this plaque? Any value? Maybe. The Tower of Knowledge? Why not?
Okay, and that's going to let you pick up the Imperial Gate plaque. It's one of 4 faction items that you can pick up through this. And here, once you pick it up, you can look at it. And down at the bottom, it's a faction relic property. And down at the bottom, you can see who is most interested in it. Now, any of them will take it, but the antiquarians here are more interested in it. That's not true. Sorry, I messed that up. That's showing the current level of faction knowledge. Any of the 4 factions will take the Imperial Gate plaque, and you'll get the same amount of approval from any of them. Some relics, though, you'll only see, like the Antiquarians in the Tower of Knowledge, or the Antiquarians in the Circle of Danathar. And some of them have hidden properties that are worth more to others. So I would encourage you to go read the guides and that sort of stuff to find out which character or which factions are more interested in certain items than others. So now I'm going to kind of look around and see. Okay, and I'm going to have all of our ranged weapons out for this. And I'm going to go up here with M.
Damn, a trap.
Okay, so we found the trap, and again, trap, this is not sleight of hand. Okay, so it's successful. Okay, so we now dropped into an attack round against Brimstone Vipers here. So at the start of every encounter, I'm going to have the opportunity to use Uncanny Metabolism. So I'm going to regain no expended uses of my key right now, and that's because it rounds it down, and I don't think I've expended any uses of my key, and a number of hit points equal to your monk level plus a roll of your monk die. Okay, so this is going to get me some hit points back here, but I'm gonna wait and use that because I can only use it once per long rest, and there's something else I want to use it for later. So I rolled initiative and I rolled second. Oh, and he's coming all the way over here to come after me? Okay, well I missed. Okay, now these enemies are flying. So the chances of me being able to get melee attacks off on them are pretty low. I don't want to go after the one that's already... Not too worried about that one. This one I'm worried about. So let's take the high ground here. That missed. They don't have a high AC. It was just a bad roll. Okay, again, don't want to go after the one that's already gone.
Wait till the next one.
And they don't have a lot of hit points. So where's this? Are both of these down here? Yeah, I'm not too worried about them yet.
That's
Shot. They're gonna have to dash to get in here. Now with Sharon, I'm going to ready because the last one is here. No, actually I'm not. I'm going to go after this one because this one's going to have to dash to get in. I was thinking about readying an Eldritch Blast, so when it came in here, she'd be able to kill it. But this one's going to go first. And that other one, this one's going to have to dash, so it's not going to be able to use any action. So let's go ahead and get an Eldritch Blast on this one. Okay. So now this one's going to have to dash, and now I have 3 of my 4 characters here. And, I mean, it's nice that y'all moved into melee range. I'm certainly not going to argue about that. So I need to take out these 2 here. So let's take out the one in the back first. Okay, I'm not going to Divine Smite that.
victory is mine.
Okay, so M can jump over there. And he can take out the next one in initiative order. Bonus action. He can't move, but he still has his full action left. Perfect. Flawless victory. And we're going to get some Brimstone Viper scales and Venom glands out of this. And these are all crafting ingredients that we're going to see the uses of later. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Oh no, it moved it. Okay, that's a great mechanic. We've already talked about camera. If it moves an object on top of one of another object, it's going to relocate that object for you so that you still can loot it or interact with it. That's a great mechanic.
Hold it. A trap.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure. Even when I pass them, these floorboards still drop out. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with these. But you can jump across them no matter what. Yeah, see, I passed it and it still dropped out, so I don't entirely know what the deal is here. Now, I want to... I'm going to have to make an insight check at the door. And that insight check is a wisdom-based check. So if I look at insight, I've got +3, +3, +4, and +4. I think this gets made by M. I think. So I'm going to have her cast guidance for insight. And now let's run everybody over here.
They're here.
You damn Sorax.
Sorax?
Did they say Sorax?
You can't be serious. Sorax are a legend for scaring children.
You bastards took the captain, but you won't take us.
Don't talk to them.
So there was the insight check. Okay. And that opens up a persuasion check from my bard. Okay. And I've got a +9 for persuasion, so a 90% chance to make this.
We're deputies of the council, set by Protector Lyra Keen.
And a nat 20.
They do have council badges.
Sure, of course they do. Looted from whose corpse?
Open the damn door. There are only 4 of them.
No! I said no!
Thank you for letting us in.
Don't thank me.
So, you really believe you were attacked by Sorax?
Man-sized lizards who speak? Oh yeah, they're real.
But we found no corpses. Nothing.
We know. They took all the bodies. Ours and theirs. So no one can prove they exist.
No proof. That's kind of awkward.
You won't laugh when they come back.
We got here without trouble.
Then they let you in. And now you're trapped with us.
Why would they do that?
How should I know? They're Sorax.
Are you in charge here?
Lieutenant Beryl Stonebeard. Second in command. After Captain Henrik.
Might we have a little chat with your comrades in arms?
As long as you don't try anything clever. We're good.
Okay. And now you see our quest options. Our quest here is to talk to the individuals. So if you look at your quest log, so we can talk to all of them, and we want to do that. We can talk to all of them here before we make a choice on who we want to quote unquote talk to fulfill these options. Okay. So I'm going to drop a save here. We've already talked to Beryl Stonebeard, so she's not interactable. Now, again, we have some insight that we're going to have to make. So I'm going to... This is Dahliot. Now we can go down and talk to Dahliot. We'll check and we'll loot the container, the weapon rack here first. We'll look at that stuff a little bit later.
So who are you, friend?
Dahliat Sunbird, Scout.
Do you believe they were Sorax?
Dunno. Seemed real, though.
What do you think they wanted?
To kill us all.
You seem a very reluctant conversationalist.
I'm having a pretty bad day, so if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna rest now.
Okay, so not much out of Daliot,
Is it me, or didn't he like that last question?
but a clue that maybe you want to talk to him some more. But Lisbeth, you want to have insight on because you're going to need it during this conversation.
Now it's my turn, right?
What do you mean?
What is this? A murder investigation?
Should we be investigating?
Maybe.
You've said too much to stop now.
Well, let's say this all happened after a certain expedition.
Speak up without fear, friend.
The scouts. They came back from a raid into the Badlands, found a ruin, came back with loot. The next day, this happens. Coincidence? You tell me.
The scouts, you say?
Only one of them's still alive. Daliat.
Oh, right.
Okay. So because of the option I chose, I didn't need the insight check there.
Greetings, soldier.
Aye, name's Robar Sharp.
I gather you're a veteran of long standing.
Yeah, but I'm not in charge, mind you.
This Lieutenant Stonebeard, is she up to the job?
Clearly not. Look around. Losing the captain broke her.
What do you think of Daliat?
Never liked him. He's hiding something. He's been nervous since we came back from the Badlands. But it'd be no good picking a fight with him now.
Very wise. How about Lisbeth? You're her superior.
Good woman. Strong, brave. You can trust her with a sword. That's worth something in my book.
So what do you think we should do?
For starters, not waiting here for the Sorax to come back and off us.
But Stonebeard says stay, and she's an officer, so...
Yeah, she's a stubborn one. And mutiny's a bad look on a soldier. You could talk to her. Deputy of the council and all.
So if we find a way, you're with us.
I'm with myself. But don't let that stop you.
It's clear that something must be done. I'm shocked by the thought that Sorax might be real. They're either crazy or stupid. No use to us in either case.
They can't help themselves or anyone else. We should return to Caer Kiflin. If we don't help them, they'll either die or kill each other.
Let 'em. Could be fun to watch. This place is a death trap. We should get out while we can.
So everyone has an opinion, but what are we going to do? And what about Daliat? We got some pretty worrying hints about him. What if he really is hiding something important? We need to talk to him and find out the truth.
Okay, now here is your choice that you have to make. You're only going to be able to save 2 of these 4 characters. Okay? Who you save depends upon who you talk to here. Alright? Now you can talk to Robar and convince him to take command, and if that's the case, then you're going to save Robar and Lisbeth. Okay? If you talk to Beryl or Daliat, you're going to save those 2. Now, if you want an achievement much later on in the game, then you need to talk to Robar. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to get something else because if you pass a couple of checks on Daliat, then you can get a faction item that's worth a lot of rep to a faction. And that's the way that I'm going to go here. But again, you need to pass an insight check.
We need to talk.
Do we?
Word is you took part in an expedition to the Badlands.
That's what we do here.
The Sorax attacked after you came back.
So what? I brought them here?
Did you bring something back?
We always do. Like the scavengers. Ask Sharp. He has tons of things brought back from there.
But maybe this time you took something special.
It's nothing of value to Sorax.
How would you know?
Okay, there's the insight check, and it was done by M. So now this opens up a persuasion check, or persuasion, deception, and intimidation. We have higher in persuasion here. I'm not entirely sure why the deception and persuasion, which I have +9 in both, why they're different percentages. I don't know if there's an advantage roll being done here on persuasion.
Trust us. We're all on the same side here.
There wasn't, so I don't know why it was higher.
It's just an old book. Might be of historical value. Take it then, and find a way to get us out of here. Hey, what's that? Hey!
Okay, I'm not going to use Uncanny Metabolism here. Okay, and now we have a fight with an infiltrator. Okay, a Sorak infiltrator. And we need to get as much damage caused here as we can while he's within this range. Okay, so Rudi's going to be going next. I think I'm just going to cast, or I think I'm going to get a ranged attack. This is going to do the most damage for me. If it hits, and it missed. That was still my best chance to hit though. And I'm going to put a Bardic Inspiration on Rudi. I don't think Rudi's going to be able to reach him with a melee attack. But we'll see. And I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to move. Because I don't know what the Sorak Infiltrator is going to do on its turn. Can Rudi make it down here? He can't. But I'm going to move down here anyway. In hopes that he comes after me. Okay, so I'm going to spend that inspiration die.
Only the last blow matters.
Yeah, I'm just not hitting. Okay, so he started his climbs. So let's see. Oh, so it doesn't show it there, it shows it now. So the wand, I was wondering about that. Well, this must wield, oh, because she's not, yeah, she doesn't have it. There it is. I was like, wait a minute, she should be able to cast it. So I'm going to try and pull him down with Thorn Whip. Okay, I need to be a little closer, it looks like. Okay, perfect. That puts him again right next to Rudi, so Rudi on his next turn is going to be able to make an attack, and when it tries to move away, he's going to get an attack of opportunity. And now M should be able to get down here right next to him. let's do Flurry of Blows. Oh, outstanding. Perfect. Worked out well. If you I'll talk about it here in a second.
Robar, no!
I'm sorry.
This is all your fault!
Don't you think it's time to stop bickering?
Soldiers die. You should know that. Don't be fooled. The Soraks are responsible, and many others will fall if we don't report to the council.
You people, just leave me alone!
He came from here. Look. What's this? A secret passage? From Imperial times. That was just a scout. More will be coming.
They're here. They're coming back. Outside!
We need to go. Take your stuff. Into the secret passage before it's too late.
And now you're introduced to critical characters. Okay? Critical characters have this icon. Okay? If they die, your game's over. So now one thing I wanted to tell you about is if you do not kill that infiltrator on during your first turn, or before he gets to take his second turn, you saw him climb the wall there. He will actually teleport outside. He will climb the walls outside where you can't reach him, and he will shoot an acid attack through the windows at you. And then you'll have to carefully position your characters to be able to shoot out that window to reach him. So the fight becomes much harder if you can't kill him on that first turn of yours. So do everything that you can to try and make sure you get him then. So now here I'm going to use a healing touch on myself. Okay, it didn't get me a whole lot back. So I'll use some lay on hands here as well. And I'm going to use all 10 points of it.
Kneel now, rise later.
We're all gonna die.
This one didn't die yesterday. What's this outfit? Timarian. Who wants to open this? You never know, there might be a fortune in there.
Okay, so we're going to open this up. Okay, and then I'm just going to take one character over. Okay, and here you're going to get some magnificent leather armor and a Termarian Inquisitor's Journal. Okay, this is the next, this is the third faction item out of the 4 that you can find here in this area. Okay, so now we picked up a magnificent leather armor. I'm going to move that to my bard. My bard has a ritual spell. Takes 10 minutes, does not use a spell slot, to identify the magnificent leather armor. And it's now leather armor +1. Okay, so that's kind of how the magical item process works in the game. You need to have detect magic if you have Detect Magic, you can cast it and it will highlight the items that are magical in your inventory. And then you can cast the Identify spell as a ritual spell and not use a spell slot to be able to identify it. Okay? Now, as far as the leather armor +1 goes, Sharon is proficient in leather armor, so she's going to change out from her sorcerer's outfit. That's going to get her another AC, or another 2 AC, up to 16. And then I'm going to take the sorcerer's outfit because I think it looks cooler for my monk to wear. It doesn't have, other than it being called a sorcerer outfit, there's nothing different about it. They're both clothing. This one has the leather tag, but that doesn't affect anything in the game. Okay, and Rudi is still unencumbered, which is good.
Wait! Are those Sorhags?
Who else?
Right out of a fairy tale, as ugly as life.
And certainly not lizard folk.
We can surprise them. Can't we sneak around?
From what I see, not a chance.
All right. Tread lightly, and we'll all attack at once.
Okay, so we're going to go into cautious mode, and this talks about the surprise attack. Okay. I'm going to go into cautious mode. This piece of stone here, I think you have to have a dwarf in your party to be able to get anything out of this. But I'll deal with it later. So let me go into cautious mode. And I'm going to start maneuvering some of my characters around here. Okay. Dahlia can be positioned back here without much of a problem. He's got a really high noise radius. And I'm going to move my monk down here as well. Okay, Sharon, I'm going to keep up here. My bard up here. And Beryl. Okay, now Beryl is a little bit special. In that, and these characters are a little bit special in that you don't change loadouts between them, so you can choose whether you're going to attack melee or you're going to attack ranged. Okay? So you don't have to, you're not limited by that. Only once per turn are you able to change between your loadout. Here you can choose either one, but since they've only got one attack, it doesn't really matter. It's equivalent the same. So now here we have some saboteurs, a skirmisher, a warrior. There's actually a second warrior that I believe is down here. So this fight is not going to be easy at all. And it doesn't matter if I cast guidance on him, I don't think. because I'm going to be switching to malediction very, very quickly in this. But what I want to do is trigger some environmental effects. So I can move this rock and it will fall off of here and hit whoever's standing here. I can also hit some stalactites that are hanging down. The red, dark red area causes the most damage. The light red causes less damage, but still a lot of damage. And there are 4 of those stalactites that are around here. Okay, and I'm going to start with I'm going to try and move out here, and I'm going to kind of look, because I know where they are. So right there, he's standing underneath one. Okay, this warrior, when he comes down here, stands underneath this one. Right here. And what I want to do is make an attack when they are standing underneath them. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Because I don't know whether he can be seen or not here. Can I make a ranged attack from here? I can. You want to start, if you just try and click on them, it takes a while to draw your bow and loose the arrow. And during that time, they can move out of the way. So if you click on an enemy, it will stop time and it will stop them in their tracks. So what I would like to do is get a couple of these enemies standing underneath, like either this rock and this stalactite up here. But to do that, I'm going to have to trigger an attack against one of them. And I can't see that many from where I'm at. I'm just going to wait a little bit, be a little patient. Because I know where that point is. It's right there. And I would love to be able to get 2 standing underneath environmental effects. Okay, so I am going to use my uncanny metabolism here. Okay, so I've only got him underneath this one, I believe, and I'm not going to use my flurry of blows here. I'm going to move back and and wait for them to come up to me. Now Sharon, I believe she has a shot on this one. And yes. I was hoping to be able to get both of them. Okay, so that dropped it on the saboteur as well. Okay, and now me here. And I hit that one down there. I can't. I can get here without being seen. Now this will give me advantage on the attack because I'm stealthy. And I'm doomed, so I'm vulnerable to poison and piercing damage. They both failed the save. So now it's going to be a question of whether or not the warriors can reach me without dashing or not. Because they're both vulnerable to piercing damage, which is really going to hurt. Okay, so... So let's see if I can get them both with sleep. Actually, probably won't need to. I'm just looking at the initiative order here. I think it's probably better if I just cause damage, because I'll have both M and Sharon at the start of the turn. So yeah, I think it's probably best if I just cause damage. And I'll throw a Bardic Inspiration on Rudi. And then Rudi is going to change here, and let's see if we can get rid of this one. Okay, I don't know if he needs it or not, so I'm not going to.
Not
Good.
bad, eh?
Didn't need to waste the smite. And I'm gonna... actually, no I'm not. I'm gonna hold that. Okay, now if you have multiple actions, you're going to have an action bar that's going to indicate it. Now he has, if he uses his attack here, he's dual wielding daggers. Okay, I'm not going to be doing that though with him. I'm going to start getting damage on the skirmisher. He's dashing, that's good. He's dashing, that's good. Okay, so I need to take out this saboteur because I cannot let him make me vulnerable to piercing damage again on my next turn. So I'm gonna flurry of blows.
You have them now.
Okay, I'm gonna go again. Perfect. And now I'm gonna start dealing damage here. Okay, and I'm gonna use a maneuver. Okay, I'm gonna use my pushing attack. And it failed.
Bad luck.
Okay, so now you need to start throwing damage on the skirmisher. That's all we need to do now. Is get as much damage on the skirmisher as we can here. We're going to bring Malediction out. Cast Elder's Blast. See if we can get a kill. Outstanding.
Another victory.
Okay, so here there's a long rest right here, so we're not going to be saving any of our spells here at all. So we're going to upcast Witch Bolt or Guiding Bolt.
Try again.
And missed. Okay, so I'm going to try and give him disadvantage on his next attack. But I want it to be on this one, against who's going against M. Okay. I'll give a Bardic Inspiration to Rudi again. And now let's see if Rudi can get a hit here. And we're going to... Let's try and get some distance here. Okay, I'm going to spend the die. And still missed. Man, rolled a 1 on that too. Okay, so he can't see anybody from there. So he can see him from there. And you can see how much hit points. That was 10 points, and it's about a third of his health pool gone. They hit hard. Oh, geez, he rolled a 20.
Are you still with us?
And they regenerate. So now let's again put a flurry of blows out.
Again.
There's
Truly
the nat 20.
formidable.
There you go, M. Alright, we're gonna move around behind him. This is going to give me flanking rules. Okay, we're gonna retarget the malediction. And we're gonna throw Chill Touch instead. That's gonna keep him
Touche.
from regenerating any health if he survives. And perfect. Okay, and you can see all of the bestiary updates. M is rolling successful wisdom checks. Oops. So if we go look at our bestiary, now we should have the Sorakath enemies in here. Okay, so only level 2 out of 4, but now we can start to see armor class and hit points on some of them. And yeah, 32 hit points. They all have fairly low armor classes, but that 32 hit points is a lot at this point in the game for us. Okay, so let's go looting. We'll just pick up everything. Don't think there's anything down here. There's not. There is something else that we want to do, though.
Stop! The trap!
Okay, so there's a trap here. Okay, so it failed, but it didn't hit me. Oh, that's good. Okay, and we got some magnesium and some other stuff. And there's a stone here.
Can anyone read that? It's all Timarian.
It looks like a part of an Inquisitor's outfit.
So that's from the tower up there?
Maybe we're inside the tower. Is that gold? This is history. History all around us.
Take it and let's move. The Soraks don't care about history, I'm sure.
And that, the Temarian holy symbol, is the 4th of the faction relics, and the last one that you're going to be able to find here inside of this area. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a couple of minute break here, and then we're going to take our long rest and we're going to continue on. This is going to let me let everybody use the facilities if you need to, and give my voice a little break here. So we will be right back. Okay, and we're back. Hey, Em, welcome. Good to see you. Sorry if it's been a while since you came in. I was kind of focused on a few things there. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. And yeah, Ostomer, it's always good to give my voice a break, let everybody kind of get up. About halfway through the stream is when I'm going to start doing them every time. Give everybody a little break. So now that we're back, we're going to take our long rest here. And let me make sure. Yes. Yeah, we're going to take our long rest. Okay, we can prepare spells, we can do any respecs. We got all of our hit points back, we got all of our, we have all of our hit dice available to us for our short rests. So we should be good. And let's continue on.
I'll have to tell the captain's wife.
Okay, and here we have a bridge. And this bridge rotates. Hence the name. Okay, and I'm going to immediately put everybody in cautious mode. And I'm going to break Rudi off.
Can't be far away. We should be cautious from now on.
Okay, so there are tracks here. Zorak tracks, probably. And I need to get there. So since Rudi has a high strength, he passed his athletics check. Okay, and he has an oil of cuteness. So this is what you will use to enchant with. And again, you're going to use you need proficiency with the Manicalan Rosary, as well as time to be able to apply this to a particular item. Okay, this dagger's not primed, so it's not ready for this yet. But again, a crafting ingredient for enchanting. Okay, I'm going to knock that down. I'm going to interact with this stone, which is going to push it close enough here that I can climb this. And I can loot this. And again, an amethyst and a primed short sword, as well as flash bolts. And you can see these do an additional 1d4 radiant damage when you shoot them. Okay, so I'm going to move here. Going to move M here. Actually, I'm going to move Rudi there. Move M there. I'm going to move Sharon up to here. I'm going to put my bard in front of her. Dahliot, I'm going to move to here. And my cleric up here. Okay, now again, this fight is not easy by any means. There are some things to take stock of in here, though. In that there are some stalactites around here. There aren't that many, and most of them are much farther down here than we want to go deal with. We don't want to have this fight that far down there. So we're ranged. We're ranged. Doesn't matter about this. Her ranged is going to be fine. Okay, so let's go in here with M and we will start this off. Okay, and we're just going to move up slowly. And there is the first one. We have a skirmisher up there. Now you can see there are more stalactites a little closer. So one here, one here. So if we get anybody onto those areas, we'll certainly look at them. They tend not to do that, though. They move by crawling on the walls, on the sides of the walls. So they tend to avoid those pretty well. So we're going to, he's got half cover here, but we have advantage on this attack. So we're going to go ahead and start this off here. Okay, so that's enough. So I'm going to move him actually down here. I think. No. I'm not. I can't reach him. I can't get him there. So yes, I am going to move him down here. Okay, so my bard is going to ready a vicious mocker. Actually, I'm going to ready a ranged attack. You see, they crawl on the walls, and there should be the ranged attack from my bard, which he missed. Oh, rolled a crit. Got 1 HP left. And oh, jeez. Okay, well, Beryl doesn't have any choice here with her spell.
You are a valued
Oh, she
comrade.
rolled horrible. He attack? He can. We need to get as much damage on the skirmisher as we can. Okay, so I don't think I can hit with Eldritch Blast. Oh, I can. Okay. So we're going to get Malediction out. Okay, Malediction can't be brought up. Can I land malediction anywhere else yet? No, I can't. Okay. So we'll just see if we can get a kill here with... Perfect. Yeah, he causes a huge amount of damage. Okay, so is anybody... Not there. Not there. I don't think it affects the ones that are down below. So yeah, no, nobody's there. Can he get any hits on anybody from down there? He can. Let's see if we can get... We can from here, though. So we'll just move up, take our shot, and then move back down. And the Saboteur, I'd prefer... Yeah, one short of being able to hit. And move back down. Okay, so... I'm going to pop out, see if I can make an attack here. And then just move back. Okay, so can I... That's with disadvantage. Too far. I think I'm going to move my bard completely out of the line of sight here. Either any of these attacks are with disadvantage, so... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, missed. Oh, there's another skirmisher. Okay, so he failed his athletics check. So, let's see if we can get a guiding bolt up here. Roll well. You didn't. Again, focusing all of our ranged attacks. It's got 3/4 cover from there. What? Oh, he's on the back side of a pillar. That's bad. I don't think this is going to improve my shot. Nope.
Next time.
This is not going well. Okay, so can I... First of all... Malediction within range yet? No, it's not. Let's move up. Still not within range. Okay. Is Thorn Whip within range? No. Still a disadvantage. Okay, well, at least we caused some damage there. Okay, so we're going to start moving Rudi down here. So we'll go after the saboteur first. Oh, rolled a 1. We need that saboteur dead, but it's gonna open him up for a lot of attacks here.
Well done.
We need to roll high. We didn't. And we missed. Wow. This is getting really, really bad. I'm gonna have to move up. I don't have a choice.
Nice little warm-up.
Arcana enjoy minore.
Oh, and he rolled a 20 for his save. What is the deal? This is horrific. This isn't just bad, it's horrifically bad. Okay, well, again, we don't have a whole lot of choice here.
I know kids who do that faster.
I cannot get a hit to save my soul.
Cool.
This skirmisher needs to die. Finally got a hit. That's a hit. No, that's a miss. Sorry, he's got an AC of 19, I think, now. Okay, so now Malediction still won't reach him, but it will reach these now. So we need to get rid of the saboteur. So it doesn't give me... And she missed.
You're just lucky.
Oh, wow. Wow. Just wow. Oh, It's got an armor class of 13. And she has a +8 to hit. All she needed to roll was a 5. I mean, come on. There's vulnerability. Oh, I passed his saving throw. Okay, so we need to make some hits here. Oh,
I'll get you yet.
still missed. This is incredible. It's just incredible.
No quarter given.
Please kill him. Okay, so now I'm going to move back and I'm going to get a flanking attack. Actually, that was a mistake. I'm going to have to take the attack of opportunity, because that was a mistake. So let's take the attack of opportunity. Okay. Let's do a pushing attack.
Well done.
And he made the strength save. It was worth a shot of trying to push him off. How many hit points does he have? I can probably put him to sleep up there. Just take him out of the fight. Okay, so Daliot's at 18. I don't think he can one-shot that. Okay, so Daliot.
Well struck.
Has 2 attacks. And he missed. Okay. So who's next up? Him, but I'm pretty sure M's going to be able to kill him next turn. Let's focus here. Keep him from regenerating. Okay, and we need to get a hit here. Okay, there's the Divine Smite. Alright, last flurry of blows. Come on, Em, this is your chance to shine. There's the 20.
A fine stroke.
Well done, Em. Now we're going to get flanking rules. Okay, we're going to give him disadvantage on this strike. And he saved. Of course he did. Perfect. Elliot should be able to finish this off.
Bravo! Victory is yours!
Now here... let's retarget malediction.
Solasta, evil,
Okay.
Too slow.
And now Rudi, finish this off, please. With the 20. We don't need to smite that. Okay, now I'm going to start moving people that way, but it's not going to matter. I don't think.
A real little goblin.
Because I'm not going to do anything with their turns. He's magically asleep. I'm just going to move everybody up so that we can all take ranged attacks against him later on. He's not going anywhere. Now Sharon is the one I want. Is he close enough to cast Thorn Whip? Nope. Not yet.
I know kids who do that faster.
Okay, so I think everybody is set.
Solasta, Rugo, More.
Alright. And yeah, since he was full health, I didn't even want him to wake up. I just wanted to Thorn Whip him off into the abyss. I wasn't worried about picking up his scales or anything like that. I just wanted the encounter to be over. So for all of my moaning, we really only took that one big hit there, and that was it. So I shouldn't be complaining as much as I was, but that fight could have gone much, much worse. Okay, so what we're going to do is take one of our high strength characters and have him go run over here and pick that up. Because there is something else that we need to do. Okay, and I think that's it. All the other stuff should have been looted. We have a level up ready for us. And level 3 is a big level up, it always is. So we need to go back to the campfire and level up. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our level up. So our first one is for our paladin. And with our paladin, we are immediately going to go warlock. And the reason for this is right here. He's been using a longsword, which is a strength-based weapon. We're now going to get him to use his charisma ability score for those attack and damage rolls, and gain +2 to attack and +2 to damage by changing to a warlock. So the first thing that we're going to get is Pact of the Blade. So I'm proficient with martial weapons, that doesn't matter. Paladins are proficient with everything. It imbues the weapons with the capacity to overcome resistance or immunity to damage from non-magical weapons. This is actually a big thing. This wasn't really a thing in Baldur's Gate 3. It's a thing here. There are some enemies who are immune to non-magical weapons, or they are resistant to non-magical weapons. And that means if you don't have any of them, your frontline fighters are useless. Well, now this makes my weapon magical. It doesn't give it any +1s or +2s or anything like that to damage or to hit, but it means it's a magical weapon, no matter which one I am using. Okay? In addition, you use your spell casting modifier on attack and damage rolls instead of strength or dexterity for your main hand, non-two-handed melee weapon. It's important to realize Pact of the Blade does not work if you are using great swords and mauls, and you're going to be a great weapon master type of character. Pact of the Blade will not work. It was never meant to work that way in Baldur's Gate 3, but it did. Here, it does not. It needs to be a non-two-handed melee weapon. Okay, so if I take this, I'm now instantly going to be getting +5 to hit and +5 to damage because of my charisma. So now for my spells, I'm going to get to choose 2 class cantrips here, and Dazzle is a free cast of, well, it's a cast of Disengage that has the bonus benefit of lowering the target's AC. If I'm right up next to somebody and I don't want to be there, then I can disengage and move away from that target. That takes my action to do it as a paladin. I can also now cast Dazzle. That's going to not let them take a reaction, which means I can move away and not provoke an attack of opportunity, and they also now have a -2 armor class penalty. Okay, once that is done. So it's like a free version of Disengage that has a bonus to lowering the target AC. And for me, that's going to be something very useful. Now, the next thing is that Eldritch Blast is going to be using my charisma to hit, which means this is now higher than my dex to hit. And while it's shorter, it's only 24 squares as opposed to a crossbow, which is 64, I think, or a longbow, which is 128. Eldritch Blast is definitely something that you want to think about while you're doing this. The other very popular thing is Green Flame Blade. So you brandish your main hand weapon and you make a melee attack with it against a creature within 5 feet. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon attack's normal effects, so it's just like attacking with my longsword. Now I can cause green fire to leap from the target to a different creature of your choice that's within 5 meters of it. The second creature takes fire damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier, which is charisma, which is +5. So at 5th level, the melee attack deals an extra 1d8 fire damage, and the fire damage on the second creature increases to 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. So Green Flame Blade is not a decrease in damage. It can only situationally increase the damage that you're able to deal against targets that are next to each other. So this is what I'm going to be picking for my second cantrip. Now, here for my spells, paladins don't have a lot of concentration type spells. Okay, they normally use their spell slots for their divine smites. But if I can throw malediction on top of it and gain an additional 1d6 magic or damage of the same elemental type on top of whatever I'm doing, then it just makes sense that I do that. That I spend one of my spell slots to get Hex out there, basically. And then while I'm throwing smites with my other spell slots, I'm getting additional damage from malediction. And then we don't get to use our reaction very often, so I'm going to pick Hellish Rebuke here as well. Another way to do more damage using more of my action point economy, basically. And the last thing is my angelic form. This is because I'm an Aasimar. Okay, so you get angelic flight. So for 1 minute, once per turn, you deal additional radiant damage equal to your proficiency bonus, which right now is +2. It's down here at the corner, but it's going to go up at levels 5, 9, 13, and 17. So I could be doing up to an additional +6 worth of damage. I also gain flying speed equal to your movement speed. This allows me to fly instead of just move around on the battlefield. Being able to get my paladin to be able to be much more maneuverable is a huge bonus. Also, getting a once per long rest use of fly without having to use a spell slot is also very useful for collecting items that are in this game. And you're going to see a little bit of that here in just a second. So I'm going to take flight, but radiance is, again, for 1 minute you do radiant damage equal to your proficiency bonus. However, on the end of each turn, you deal 1d4 radiant damage to all enemies within 10 feet around you. Okay, this damage increases to 1d6, 1d8, 1d10, and 1d12 every 4th level, or every 4 levels. Okay, so it's a way to do AoE damage around you at the end of every turn for 1 minute. And then Angelic Visage. It does the same thing. It just is a fear aura around you. On activation, every enemy needs to roll, and that's every enemy, not just enemies that are around you, but every enemy needs to roll a charisma saving throw against 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus the charisma modifier. So that's 8 plus 7, so a DC of 17 right now for me. Or be frightened until the end of my next turn. Okay? Can be very, very useful because frightened is an incredible thing to have, or an incredible debuff to have, but angelic flight is the way that I'm going. And now for my bard. Okay, so for my first 2 levels, I'm taking bard. Bard level 3 is just massive. Okay. And that's because of my college. So here are the bard colleges that are in this game. And you can see the one that came out of the SRD is the College of Lore. Okay, this was the original one in the game. That was expanded to College of Heroism and College of Hope in the Inner Strength DLC. And then the College of Traditions got added in the Lost Valley DLC. Unfinished Business adds the really good ones. I mean, that's just how it is. With College of Valor, College of Swords, College of Eloquence, if you never want to fail another speech check in your life, and you want to use things like cutting words to give attackers disadvantage, College of Eloquence is it. College of Life is actually pretty good because of the power of necromancy spells in this game. Think about casting something like Blight or something like that. Once you've got magical secrets unlocked, that's a level 4 spell. Now you're casting Blight at level 6 instead of level 4, which is just a massive increase in damage. So for your spell casting damage dealing bards, College of Life is great. However, for me, there was only one option here, and that's the College of Swords. So we've seen this before in Baldur's Gate 3. It opens up the flourishes. So we have a defensive flourish. This adds your Bardic Inspiration die roll to your AC. This does not add a flat bonus to your AC like it did in Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, right now my Bardic Inspiration die is 1d6. So I could just get 1 to my AC, or I could get 6 to my AC. It's not a flat bonus of 3 like it was in Baldur's Gate 3. Slashing Flourish, you deal the extra damage to all other enemy creatures within 5 feet of you. This is not limited to 2 creatures like it was in Baldur's Gate 3. You roll a Bardic Inspiration die, 1d6, and all the other enemies that are within 5 feet of you are going to take that additional 1d6 damage. Now, this is not as powerful as the Slashing Flourish was in Baldur's Gate 3 because you're not getting full damage attacks against multiple enemies. You're getting a full damage attack against one enemy, and then all the other enemies around you are now taking 1d6 damage. Not additional damage, but just 1d6 damage. And then Mobile Flourish, you gain benefits of disengage until the end of your turn. In Baldur's Gate 3, it added a teleport, basically, so that you could hit somebody with the Mobile Flourish and it would knock them backward. That's not part of this. And it allowed you to teleport to them after they were knocked backwards. Again, that's not part of this. Mobile Flourish allows you to disengage once you make that attack. Okay? So you don't have to cast Disengage, which would take an action. You Mobile Flourish, deal damage, and then you're able to run away afterwards. So bonus proficiency, I gain proficiency with medium armor, which is huge for me, and the scimitar, which is okay for now, just because my dex is really high. It's higher than my strength. So the scimitar is, I can dual wield it if I want, and make high damage, high to hit rolls with a dexterity weapon, which is both light and versatile. So I can wield it with dex and with both hands. And then my fighting style. I get to adopt a fighting style here. That fighting style is a no-brainer. It's going to be dueling for me because I'm going to be using a shield. I just don't have that proficiency yet, but I will be getting it in a little bit. I'm not going to unlearn any spells. And for my class spells here, it's a no-brainer. I'm taking Hold Person. So for my monk is going to be a pure monk. I'm not going to be adding anything else into him. So at monk level 3, I'm going to get deflect attacks. So when I get hit with any of the normal attacks, I can take a reaction to reduce the incoming damage by 1d10 plus my dex modifier and my monk level, which is 2. So right now it's going to be 1d10 plus 5 plus 2 is 7. So if anybody's hitting me for 8 damage or less, it's going to be completely nullified just by using my reaction. If you reduce the damage to 0 and the attacker is within 60 feet, I can expend a key point to throw that damage back. This is very similar to what it was in Baldur's Gate 3 as well. They have to make a dex saving throw or take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die plus your dexterity modifier. The damage is the same type dealt by the attack. This is a very, very useful way for the monk to be avoiding damage as it starts to level up. But the most important part are the monastic traditions. So again, the way that was in the that came from the SRD was the way of the open hand. Now, don't get me wrong, the way of the open hand is still a very powerful monastic tradition. It's just not as powerful as it was in Baldur's Gate 3. So whenever you use your Flurry of Blows, you can change that to add an effect to it. You can knock it prone, you can push it away up to 3 cells, which is huge, or it can't take any reactions until the end of its turn. At higher levels, you wholeness of body, every monk is going to get. At level 11, you gain tranquility, which means that you're able to gain the benefits of the spell shield by expending 1 key point. These are meh, that you're going to also get this one from other traditions. Level 17, which is a long way down the road, and which is 5 levels past what was in the base game, is where the way of the open hand really shines. Because now you can set up a key resonance. This is what key resonance was in the game. It just wasn't nearly as powerful as what Quivering Palm really is. Quivering Palm, you can spend 3 key points to set up a vibration which lasts for up to 24 hours. You can use 3 more key points on another target to put Quivering Palm on, 3 more key points on it until you run out of key points. The vibrations are harmless unless you use your action to end them. And again, that's just like we did with Resonating Key in Baldur's Gate 3. As soon as you click the action to do it, the creature must make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it is reduced to 1 hit point. That does not matter how many hit points they started with. This is where Quivering Palm and Tabletop puts Resonating Key and Baldur's Gate 3 to shame. And this is why you have to wait until you're level 17 to get it. You could have a target with 300 hit points. If they fail the Constitution saving throw, they now have 1. And it is stunned until the start of their next turn. In Tabletop, this is so incredible. There are a lot of your high-level enemies that have legendary actions and legendary saves. However, against really high-powered additional enemies, your monk can literally just flit around the room using their key points to set up Quivering Palm vibrations. And then, once you've got something like a bard or a warlock to debuff them, to give them disadvantage on their Constitution saving throws, you can hit this, trigger it all at once, and reduce all of those enemies to 1 hit point, and they become stunned. Even if it doesn't pass the saving throw, it takes 10d10 necrotic damage. So Quivering Palm is amazing, okay? But waiting until level 17 to make it non-functional in this game, basically, and only usable in custom campaigns, is worthless for me. So Way of the Shadow is how we are going here. So I can see normally in dim light, which I could do anyway, and in natural darkness as in dim light. That just gives you dark vision out to 60 feet. So now instead of 30 feet, which I had, it now goes out to 60 feet. I can also spend 1 key point to cast darkness as an action without providing material components. I can cast the spell Darkness. you aren't affected by it, and while the spell persists, you can move its area to a space within 60 feet of you. So now I have Devil's Sight inside darkness that I cast, and it's a concentration spell, and I can move it wherever I want. This is just like using the darkness from the spear, from the spear that I got that you get for sighting or for killing the Azamar as Shadowheart. It's basically, the only difference is that I can't cast it unlimited, but I don't need to. As long as I maintain my concentration, I can move it wherever I want, and I can fight in it. So this is an amazing thing for me that's going to synergize very, very well with some of the other things I'm going to be doing. At higher levels, I get Shadow Step. So when I'm in that dim light or darkness, I can use a bonus action to teleport to 60 feet to an unoccupied space that is also dim or dark. I then have advantage on the next melee attack I make. Improve Shadow Step at 11, I can use a bonus action to spend 1 key point to remove the requirement that I must start or end in darkness on Shadow Step. I can now also make an unarmed strike after the teleportation. And then at level 17, Cloak of Shadows, basically spend 3 key points to put myself in magical darkness for 1 minute. Okay, so until I'm incapacitated or run into bright light, I gain the following benefits. I'm invisible, I'm partially incorporeal, and I can use my Flurry of Blows without spending any key points. It was so underpowered in Baldur's Gate 3 compared to what it really should have been. And they made Way of the Open Hand OP instead. In this one, they kind of switched that, and Way of the Shadow is definitely the way that I'm going to be going. And now the last level up here is for my Warlock. And here at level 2, I'm going to be upping Warlock again to take my second level now of Warlock. Okay, so here I'm going to get an additional Eldritch Invocation, and I get Magical Cunning. You can perform an esoteric rite for 1 minute. At the end of it, you regain expended Pact Magic spell slots, but no more than a number equal to half your maximum, and you round up. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you take a long rest. So as a Warlock, I'm getting my spells back on short rests, but if I ever run out of that, I can gain half of those back by using the Magical Cunning class feature. I'm not going to unlearn Pact of the Tome. Instead, now I'm going to take my 2 class invocations. And I'm going to take Agonizing Blast, a no-brainer. It adds my Charisma modifier, which is +5, to my Eldritch Blast damage. And I'm going to be taking Devil's Sight. I can see normally in darkness both magical and non-magical. Okay? Now there are some other really good ones in here, which I'm going to be taking later. Eldritch Spear is awesome. When you cast Eldritch Blast, you ignore any cover on the target. Doesn't matter if they're in half or 3/4 cover, you don't get any disadvantages or advantages to armor class for them for that to hit. So it makes it a lot easier to hit. The hexes. These go along with any of your different type of hexes. Now, I'm going to be getting Soul Hex here in a little bit because I'm a tiefling. But I've already got Malediction. So now, if I put Malediction on them, I can then make my attack and do damage. On the next turn, if they are still alive, I can use my bonus action to make them take fire damage equal to my Charisma modifier, which is +5. Plus, I can still make my regular normal attack. Normally, when you're Hex, if you kill the target, you're going to use your bonus action to retarget somebody else. But if that target doesn't die, now you can use your bonus action to cause more damage to the target. So Burning Hex, Chilling Hex. Now this operates a little differently in that it deals cold damage to each of your enemies within 5 feet of the target. So if you have enemies that are all grouped up, you can then cause your charisma modifier and damage to a bunch of enemies around them. And the last one is Maddening Hex, which you don't get until level 5. So you now deal psychic damage to the target and each creature of your choice within 5 feet of it. To use this invocation, you must be able to see the cursed target and must be within 30 feet of you. So this is a way to cast psychic damage, which is one of the least resisted damage types in the game. Now there are some others. Some of these we're familiar with. Book of Ancient Secrets, Beguiling Influence, Thief of the Five Fates, Grasp of Hadar. We've seen, or we haven't seen Grasp of Hadar. Grasp of Hadar is the opposite of Repelling Blast. Repelling Blast knocks a creature two cells away from you. Grasp of Hadar pulls that creature 10 feet towards you. So if you didn't want to take something like Lightning Lance or Thorn Whip, then you could add in an invocation here to pull a target towards you for that same distance. But the other things like Lance of Lethargy, it now when you hit a creature with your Eldritch Blast, it reduces their movement speed by 10 feet. Eyes of the Roomkeeper, you understand all languages. Aspect of the Moon, you no longer need sleep when you're at camp, which means that you're going to lower the chances that you're going to get ambushed. But even if you do get ambushed, you're now going to be awake, and you're not going to be surprised on that first turn, which can be very, very useful. We've seen Fiendish Vigor and Otherworldly Leap before. We've seen Repelling Blast before, which is really nice. Gift of the Ever-Living Ones. You regain the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing whatsoever, which is, again, really nice. And Eldritch Sight. Now, Eldritch Sight is something that I am probably going to be picking up a little bit later if I don't take Detect Magic on my next Sorcerer level. Being able to cast Detect Magic basically as a ritual is really nice in this game. I can already do it with Identify, but I can't do it with Detect Magic yet. So I'm kind of up in the air on what I'm going to do with it. But I am taking here, first of all, Agonizing Blast, and I'm going to take Devil Sight. I want to be able to fight in that darkness that my monk is now able to cast. Not going to unlearn any spells here. For my class spells, I'm not going to take Hellish Rebuke because as a Tiefling, I'm going to get a better version of this coming up pretty quick. There's a racial version of this that I'm going to get. Expeditious Retreat is nice, but it's not something I think I want to focus on with her. So my choices are really between Armor of Agathis, Witch Bolt, and Protection versus Evil and Good. Protection versus Evil and Good is really nice. Aberrations, Celestials, Elementals, Fays, Fiends, and Undead have disadvantage on attacks against the target. And you can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. Okay? So it's a really good spell to have. I just don't necessarily like it on my damage dealing caster. But I won't be able to get it for a long time if I don't take it here. Witch Bolt, I'm not going to take because it's a concentration spell. I would much rather have Malediction or Soul Hex up as opposed to Witch Bolt. So Armor of Agathis is great. We've seen it before in Baldur's Gate 3. Gain +5 temporary hit points per spell level, which is, again, really good. And if enemies hit you with a melee attack, they take 5 gold or cold damage. I think I'm just out of all of these. Charm Person is really bad in this. And well, there's a bunch of reasons for that, but it doesn't really work like you think it works. So I think I'm probably just going to take this. I can't always unlearn it later on since this is Warlock and that's where the majority of my levels are going to be. So I think I'll take it for now. And let me see if I have any new spells here. I don't. So yeah, Rudi is still good. Okay, so now if I look at M under my use power, I can create darkness. And I can do it at the cost of a key point. And then I can just move it around wherever I want. Now, darkness in this game is not like it should be. And this is something that I want to highlight here with the unfinished business mod. Okay, so if I scroll down here, and I'm looking here to see where it is. It might be under rules here. Okay, here it is. Change heavily obscured areas to be projectile blockers. Cloud kill, fog cloud, incendiary cloud, petal storm, sleet storm, stinking cloud. Change magically obscured areas to be projectile blockers. Any source of the darkness spell effect. This is what it was in Baldur's Gate 3. And this is a tabletop rule that is used all the time. I've turned it on here because I want to see how it works. How this should work is that if it's heavily obscured, clogged, any of these, Devil Sight does not work against those. Okay? Devil Sight works in the darkness or magically obscured darkness. So how this should work is that anybody with Devil Sight should not have their projectiles blocked, because the darkness spell effect shouldn't be affecting me because I have Devil Sight. However, I have a feeling in this game that it's not going to utilize that specific subset rule. And I think it's just going to be, if I'm in the darkness, I can't use any projectiles in or out of it, which is going to lessen the utility of it somewhat. So I may be turning these on or off, depending upon how this plays out as I start to use this combination now, and how this synergy is going, see how well it plays out. Okay. So I think for now, let me look. Yes, we need to look at our inventory. So now remember, I have the College of Swords here. So I'm now proficient in scimitars as well. So I can now dual wield these if I would like, but if I do that, I'm not going to get any benefit from dueling. Okay, so the rapier being a finesse weapon right now, even though it's not light, this is using my dexterity to hit, which is still the best. It's 1d8 over 1d6s on the scimitar. The only advantage here would be they're light, so I could dual wield them. I still can't, but also College of Swords, these are all scimitars. Got a bunch of scimitars. I'm looking to see if I have anything else. I don't. Let me just do this. Because I'm now proficient with longswords as well. Okay. So I don't necessarily have to keep my rapier. I could now use a longsword. The only difference would be I'd be using strength. I won't. My college actually... Yeah, you use your weapon. You can also use your weapon as a spell casting focus, which is nice for the bard. I don't have to have a spell casting focus anymore. But I'm still using my... I'm not using charisma as my weapon attack yet, because I haven't dipped into warlock, which I'm going to do, but just not right now. So that longsword I'm going to be able to use at some point, just not right now, because I haven't, again, started dipping into my multi-classes on the bard yet. So I think, and does she have a shield? She does. She's not proficient with it yet, but again, that's going to be changing. Oh, yeah, she can't use greatswords, obviously. So I think that's it. Let me just go one more time through my inventories. So I have a longbow. Which, again, is not a monk weapon, but it now ups it from 1d6 damage to 1d8 damage. And I have corrosive arrows. I have flash bolts, which are nice to have. And some more arrows here, because I think she's using... Oh no, she's got arrows, but she's got plenty. And I'm going to put the corrosive arrows in his second spot. Okay, and I think we're good. So that completes our level up, and it gets us a really good spot to end the live stream here. We're going to come back next week and basically make our way out of here. We are now done with this area here. And we will make our way back to the city and start dealing with a couple of things back there in the city before we head out on our next major quest to do. So, as always, thank you all for being here. I certainly appreciate all of the support that you guys have been giving me over the years here. And again, as I always say, without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, fare thee well.